Let's talk money. So this morning I was up getting dressed, as I do because I'm providing distance learning, and I was listening to the talk radio stations, and then I was kind of flipping through my news sources, and I see that our government decided to play nice with one another, and they're voting on today, and hopefully passing a stimulus package. Great, I'm in. What's it about? So the stimulus package is going to cost $2 trillion. That is so much money. That's actually half of the United States annual budget. Needs to be done. We sort of have this like continuous borrowing of money, and in my opinion, which is whatever, take it as it is, I'm a high school government teacher, we're never going to pay this money back. It's like life is a series of comfortable monthly payments, and our government is totally okay with that. We still have we have a really good standing economically in the global market, so this is probably just going to be the way it is. Again, I'm not worried about it. I don't get paid enough to worry about it. It's above my pay grade, so I'm not going to, it's whatever. So let's talk numbers. So there were some sticking points, and again, this is being reported on from a few news sources. These specific numbers I took from a CNN article, which I will try to link below, because I like to cite my sources. The money is going to be $250 billion is going straight to the people. $350 billion will be in small business loans. $250 billion will be in unemployment benefits. They're really trying to beef up those unemployment benefits packages because so many people were laid off because of this health crisis, our war with our invisible enemy, that they need to get that money out there. We need to help people. $500 billion will go to loans for companies. And I've heard a lot of back and forth on this, and like, hey, we shouldn't bail those companies out. They need to do it on their own, blah, blah, blah. Look, I'm not going to argue that because honestly, it's not going to do anything to argue it anyway. But we have to look at this globally, and we cannot, as a society, allow airlines, cruise industries, major industries to fail. It just can't happen. And I know people want to argue and, do all that, and that's fine. You're totally entitled to your opinion, and I'll welcome any comments. I'd love to have a conversation about it. So many people work for these industries. It just doesn't make sense to say, oh, hey, airline industry, I know through no fault of your own, nobody's flying right now. We're not allowing anyone to fly, and your company is going to go bankrupt, but good luck. Whatever. There's also a stipulation that blocks the president and Congress from using any of this money. So that was a big deal. There were a few questions. I listened to the press conferences. Some are better than others. And that was actually a couple of questions from several reporters is, hey, President, are you going to benefit from this? And there's now, according to CNN, a stipulation saying, no, the president cannot. All right, so what's the part that everybody really cares about? How much am I getting? If you are an individual, this is off of your adjusted gross income for 2018, okay? So you have to file a tax return. So there are people who aren't going to get this money. And is it fair? Probably not. There's just, unless you're going to have a government agent go door to door to door and go, oh, how many people live here? Here's your check. And that's not, like, we can't do that. This is kind of the easiest way to do it. And again, this money is coming from our taxes. So the money is coming back in taxes. It's an allocation of funds. So instead of allocating funds here, they're going to allocate funds over there, and they're using the tax money. So this is how it's coming back. If you made $75,000 or less, you, as an individual, you're eligible for $1,200. If as a married couple, you made $150,000 or less, you are eligible for $2,400 per couple. You will get an additional $500 per child. And that is also scaled down by income. So by the time you are making $99,000 as an individual, by the time you're making $99,000 as an individual, you're getting $0. If you're making $198,000 per couple with no kids, you're not getting any money. And in my humble opinion, that should be fine, because this money is supposed to go to the people who need it the most. And the people who need it the most are the people who don't make a lot per year, because I'm going to assume that they're the ones who maybe don't have a savings, who are living paycheck to paycheck, who have jobs that have been affected by the virus, who can't work at home, who aren't getting paid, yada, yada, yada. And they're the ones who are going to need this money. So if you're making over $200,000 a year as a couple, when you don't have any kids, the thought is you really don't need this stimulus package, so you're not getting it. So how's this going to go? Do we just automatically get the money? Well, CNN is reporting that we're probably not going to get this money until at least May. And I know that sounds like a really long time, but we're talking about the United States government. The United States government doesn't really do anything quickly. So to say that we're going to pass this bill at the end of March and start getting money to you by May, that's not that bad. I mean, I know we need the money now, and I get that, and they get that. It's just, there's a lot of logistics. So it's gonna take a minute. And the hope is that people take this money and infuse it back into the economy. So they're going to take this money to pay bills. They're going to take this money to pay rent. They're going to take this money to buy food, buy clothes, put gas in their car, all the stuff that we use our money for. And that's going to get that economy rolling again. So how does this pass? Well, Nancy Pelosi, who is the Speaker of the House, and that's the one with more people in it, she's going to try to do like a more informal vote, so not everyone has to come back and sit in this room during a virus issue where people get sick by being in close proximity, to just do like an informal vote. But if one person says no, just one, and if you know anything about how Congress works, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody said no. It doesn't sound like they are, but I wouldn't be surprised. But if one person says no, then it mucks up the whole system. They all have to go back. They have to do like an actual vote. They have to sit down, do a roll call, and it just, there's a whole bunch of stuff that has to be done. So let's all just hope that doesn't happen. I'm really hoping like this just goes through and boom, it's passed. The Senate, it sounded really happy with it. The Senate sounded like they're going to give it the thumbs up. And there's less senators. There's only 100 senators. It's 2 people per state, as opposed to the House, which is congressional districts. So there's way more. And so there's general, usually the Senate is a tighter knit group, and Mitch McConnell has them like in lockstep. Especially the Republicans in the Senate, they look to Mitch and they do what he tells them to, and so usually things kind of go a little faster through the Senate. The House is a different beast, because honestly, even though the Democrats have a majority in the House right now, not all of them listen to Pelosi. There's a lot of them that go rogue, and so that's something that has to kind of work itself out. So, what do I think is going to happen? I don't know. I'm hopeful that this gets voted on. I'm hopeful that it does what it's supposed to do, which is to stimulate the economy, get money to the people who need it the most, get those unemployment benefits passed, get people help, because I grew up with my dad in the 80s, constantly being laid off because he was in the aerospace industry. And the way that industry worked was it was feast or famine. And I grew up, you know, when times were good, they were good. And when they were bad, my dad was freezing bread, bologna, and cheese. And we were eating defrosted bologna, cheese, and chip sandwiches, um, which was, I was fine, happy with the food. You know, it was totally, you know, as a kid, you're just like, bologna, cheese, and chips are delicious with some mustard. Uh, I just remember how tough it was at times, and so I hate to see anyone struggle. I've struggled. I wasn't, you know, I wasn't always a teacher and making money, so I'd like to see that money get to the people who need it the most. I'm hopeful. I am. So that was it for today. I really hope that you learned something. Hope that the information I provided was helpful. If you enjoy my videos, I would really appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button, shared my videos with a friend, like and comment. I really enjoy putting out content that people enjoy and that is informative. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope everybody has a great day. Stay safe, stay sane, stay informed, be good people, and do good things. Bye, everyone.